Hey everybody, welcome back to another portfolio update video. Today, the portfolio is sitting at a new all-time high. This is currently the highest I've ever seen it at, and it's currently at $215,708.73 on a total all-time gain of $76,146.53, or 54.56%. In last week's video, I did mention that the portfolio was at an all-time high during the week. I do believe it hit about 214,000 before falling down to about 206,000. But now after this week, we have pumped up here to new all-time highs, which I'm very, very excited about. Before we jump into the individual accounts this week, I did have a few stocks that had earnings, good and bad, and I also want to cover a few crypto positions on how they did this week as well. The first stock is Shopify. It beat revenue and EPS, and the stock surged like 18% on August 5th or August 6th in the morning, I guess. So it was about $174 on August 5th and pumped up into the 200 Canadian range. And I do believe, yeah, it is still currently sitting over $200 Canadian, which is awesome. And Q3 guidance was pretty strong, so it was projecting high teens revenue growth and improved margin. So that would explain why the stock pumped up as much as it did on top of the good revenue and EPS it had. AMD also had earnings this week, my beloved AMD. It did beat revenue, and the stock did fall about 7% after earnings, down into the high 150s, 160 range here in the middle of the week, but it did recover towards the end of the week. Q3 guidance was still pretty strong considering, but it was forecasting double-digit revenue growth and pretty robust GPU sales as well. AMD overall finished the week down just over 1%, or down about $2 on the week, which isn't too bad considering. I am still quite bullish on AMD. I believe this is a $200 stock easily soon, obviously not financial advice, and I think it could head up to that 300, 400 as long as it doesn't have to outperform Nvidia. As long as it stays a very, very good competitor to Nvidia, I will be very bullish on AMD. In ways, this could be like the Microsoft to Apple. Now, the trade desk, I'm not too eager to cover the earnings on this one. I mean, it did beat revenue and EPS, but this stock still dropped over 30%. Yes, this is not a meme coin. This is a stock. This stock dropped almost 38% this week, which is absurd. And the reason why it dropped so bad was bad Q3 guidance. It was only expecting about a 14% growth year over year. And obviously this is a huge growth stock, so people are wanting like 50% growth. So that's the reason why this one tumbled as hard as it did. I don't know, guys. I may have to do a little more research on this. I don't want to cut my losses on this one because I do love the company, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, as you can see, this thing was trading for like almost $90 to start the week and dropped like a rock into the $50 range. Insane. And lastly here, before we enter my accounts, Ethereum finally broke the threshold of 4,000 USD. This is very, very bullish for Ethereum. So all my Ethereum holders who may be watching this, things are looking good for Ethereum. Maybe we're going to have a nice Ethereum bull run here soon. Typically during a crypto cycle, Bitcoin will boom, then Ethereum will follow, and then the altcoins come after that. So we'll see if the typical 4-year cycle for crypto happens again. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but Ethereum's looking good either way. And I'm currently holding over 2 Ethereum, so my current projections is about 8,000 US dollars for Ethereum during this bull cycle in 2025. Hopefully we can get there, and hopefully I can take some profits on this. If you do enjoy or are enjoying this video, be sure to drop a like down below. You guys absolutely blew up the likes on the last video, over 100, which was way more than I was expecting for not uploading for 6 months. Let's see if we can break 100 likes again on this video. And I do believe it is still possible to surpass 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Most of you watching are not subscribed, which is crazy. So hit that subscribe button, absolutely free, and helps the channel out a bunch. Jumping into the TFSA now, it is sitting at $74,100.73, and the TFSA was up about $1,400 or 2% this week. And actually, the 74,000 isn't as high as it got this week. It was over 75,000 for the first time ever, so that was very exciting to see. And for transactions in the TFSA this week, just a bunch of reoccurring buys, so a $70 reoccurring buy of VFV, $25 recurring buy of QQC.F, and a $50 reoccurring buy of FBTC, which is just a Bitcoin ETF. Next up, the RRSP, it's at $64,953.37, and this week it was quite a strong week as well, up about $2,100 or 3.46%, and I believe 65,000, I think it did surpass 65,000 this week, which again, just like the TFSA, is a new all-time high here in the RRSP. And as for the transactions, a reoccurring buy of VOO of $125, a reoccurring buy of SCHD for $75, and a reoccurring buy of FBTC for $50, which again is the Bitcoin ETF. As for the non-registered account, it is at $16,955.85. This account was up just about $350 or 2% this week. And again, I always like to clarify this every video. I've only ever contributed into this account when my TFSA and RRSP are maxed for the year, and I have not contributed into this account for quite a while. And just to prove that, no transactions in this account this week. All right, the crypto account, this one's usually pretty crazy every week. It's sitting at almost 43,000 or $42,975.20 as of right now. Again, this could update anytime here as I'm recording on the weekend, but up 5,300 or 14% just this past week. I mean, that's crypto for you. And the crypto account is like literally almost at 200% all-time gains, which blows my mind. I hope I'm definitely going to take some profits this year, I think. And this week in the crypto account, I just bought $70 worth of Bitcoin. I just have a reoccurring buy of $10 of Bitcoin literally every single day here. It's really not a lot to me. It's like pretty much what somebody spends on 2 coffees a day. So, you know, I'm not missing the $10 a day here in Bitcoin, and I just like to DCA into that. I spent a few years DCAing into like Ethereum and a bunch of altcoins back in 2022 when things were at their lows, and 2023. So I'm really praying here for an alt season. Lastly, here I have my checking account. The balance in here is $16,739.22. And for the transactions this week, I actually took out $200 and deposited that into an external checking account. Just had some personal things I had to do with that money. And I had an $80 transfer over to my crypto account to buy some Bitcoin. Jumping on over to my portfolio tracking spreadsheet here, not really much to go over here on the dashboard. Portfolio sitting at 215,000, yada yada. I went over this in more detail in last week's video if you want to go check that out after this one. But let's jump into the TFSA here and let's pull up, let's change this all-time return to, no, let's flip that around here. So currently end phase is my biggest loser here in my TFSA, but I want to see Trade Desk. Trade Desk, I'm now down 25% on this. Obviously, if you saw earlier, this stock was down like 40% this week. My average cost basis was, in my opinion, considerably low. I mean, this was a stock trading over $100 at one point. So now that it's sitting at $42 or $54, my average cost basis is $72. I am at a loss on this. I'm going to have to reevaluate Trade Desk here, maybe hold on to it till next earnings to see what their guidance is looking like going even further in the future. But this thing has a pretty high PE ratio. People are expecting very high growth rates. And if it doesn't keep up with those growth rates, this thing is not going to hold up very well. Another one here, Palantir, is now sitting at almost $190 US stock. That is crazy considering my average cost basis is $15 in my TFSA. I'm up 1100% on my Palantir shares. I mean, I only have 7 shares now. I believe at one point I had like 30, so I've taken a lot of profits on Palantir throughout the year earlier on this year. But that's just an insane return. That is by far my biggest returning position for percentage. Now, Shopify in my TFSA, this was a position I bought back at the end of 2021 when this thing was at all-time highs. My average cost basis was almost $195 on Shopify, and I'm pretty happy to say that I'm finally up on these shares of Shopify. I've literally been down on these 20 shares of Shopify in my TFSA for like 4 years. One, I can't believe I held that long, and two, I think this thing's gonna go higher. I think Shopify is a pretty great company. Now, my RRSP, I also have Trade Desk in the RRSP. I don't think I have as many shares. Let me just check really quick. 11 shares of Trade Desk there in the RRSP, and where is Trade Desk? Trade Desk, I have 30. Okay, I've got way more shares in my TFSA. I had to double check that. But anyways, my average cost basis here in the RRSP is much lower, so I am only down about 1.5% on my Trade Desk in this account. I did take profits once upon a time on Trade Desk in this account. I believe I sold about half my shares. So I kind of am still up on these Trade Desk shares in my RRSP, but once again, gonna have to reevaluate Trade Desk in the coming months to see what this thing is gonna look like in the future. But again, I also have Palantir in this account. Palantir is up like 500% in this account. And I also have more Shopify in this account. My average cost base is much lower here. So I'm up over 100%. Wow, I didn't actually know that. Okay, cool. I'm up over 100% on my Shopify shares in here. Maybe I'll take some little profits on that. Maybe I won't. I'll have to see. I do think Shopify has legs to keep going here. All right, now checking out my crypto account here. Obviously, I've got altcoins that are down pretty big. Like if we look at Polygon, for example, down $2,500 or 67%. But we also have altcoins that are up quite a bit. Like Solana, I'm up $2,600 or 400%. And this one I've taken a bunch of profits on, I believe last year. So I'm actually up more than 2,600 on it. But you get the point. Obviously, when you're picking a basket of altcoins, you're going to do good on some, you're going to do bad on some. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are still like top dogs. Like you pretty much can't go wrong with them unless, like, of course you have to have the risk tolerance, and obviously not financial advice. But we are looking at a pretty healthy Ethereum run right now. Like I said earlier, it passed $4,000 US, which has been resistance for quite a long time. And I think it's gonna, it could pump up to 5,000 here pretty soon, 5,000 US, which would be pretty nice for me considering I'm on paper up 100% almost here on my Ethereum. It's actually more than that. This return percentage is glitched on Wealthsimple. I'm closer to probably up about 150% on my Ethereum shares. But my target for 2025 is about 7,000 to 8,000 USD for Ethereum. At that point, I will be selling some. But yeah, overall for the rest of the year, still quite bullish on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the altcoins. This could be very, very big if everything goes right. I mean, quite risky, very risky, I might say. But the rewards could pay off quite big here. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this week's portfolio update video. I do hope you enjoyed. Be sure to smash that like button down below. Let's aim for 100 on this one. Again, subscribe if you have not already. It is free, helps the channel out a bunch. And other than that, I will see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching.